Hey, everybody. Y'all come on, come on, come on, come on. Hey, welcome back to my Building the Brand series. And for those of you who are coming in, my name is, and don't know me, my name is Ponchetta Lanu. I'm the founder of Punch Cosmetics and also the creator of the series called Building the Brand. Building the Brand is my series that I created to try to answer any kind of questions that business owners may have while they're building brands. I interview owners about how they're successfully out here building their brands. And today I have a special guest. Her name is LaRon Chadwick. She is the founder of Chadwick Financial Solutions, and we're going to be talking about the number one thing you need in business, and that's credit. So before I bring her on, we're going to talk about a few things that you need to understand. I'm going to give y'all some statistics because a lot of people won't watch this and think, you don't want to talk about credit, but credit is something that we need because it's going to affect you buying a house one day. It's going to affect you looking for a job. They do background checks on you for job. They check your credit for that, in case you didn't know. They check your credit for insurance. They check your credit anytime you're looking for apartments. And pretty much everything that you do these days where money is required on a continual basis is going to require a credit check. So do you want to be in the good credit category, or you just want to be coasting and just going along paying all these high interest rates and paying extra for everything because you didn't take care of your credit? Now, as for a business owner, cash is supreme to a certain degree, but you're going to need those cash reserves as you build and grow your business. And when you're building a brand, it is so important to have credit because eventually, at some point, as you want to grow, you're going to need to you may possibly need to take a loan. You may be looking for investors and you may get lucky to find someone, but what if you don't? That means that you would possibly need to consider taking a loan, and in order to get that loan in business, you need good credit. So we're going to talk about that today. I'm bringing my friend LaRon on, and she's going to give you guys some credit tips on how you can get your credit right and get your business in order so that you can have the kind of credit you need to get your business, to sustain your business during those lean times or to even grow your business. So without further ado, I'm bringing LaRon in. Hey, sister.
Hey, hi everybody. Thank you for having me today, Punch.
Thank you for coming, friend. So, we're gonna get right into it, and we're gonna get straight to the point today, talking about credit. But before we do, I want you to tell them a little bit about Chadwick Financial Solutions. Tell them what it is.
All right. Well, at Chadwick Financial Solutions, our main goal is you. We want to help you to build your credit, establish credit, and understand how credit works. Because just because you repair your credit, if you don't change that mindset, everything is going to stay the same. So we focus on everything from, creating a budget. We help you with your finances. We even discuss life insurance because that's one of the main components of being financially secure. And most people don't realize that. So we want to make sure the whole package is intact. When it comes to good credit, what we know is you have to have good credit if you want to be financially successful. And if you don't have good credit right now, don't worry. Everybody makes mistakes. You can start over. It can be fixed. It's not one of those things that once you mess it up, it can't be fixed. A little bit about me and how I got started. I guess I'm just one of those people that's always been frugal or financially savvy. I've always been a little tightwad, I guess you could say, and I've always just been interested in this kind of thing. And so basically, one day I just decided to just start my own business. I've always talked about finances and helped other people. So I just decided to branch out on my own and start doing it full time. But when it comes to credit, like she mentioned, cash is king, but credit is power. And you need to have that power, especially when it comes to business. Because when it comes to whether or not you need to pay a deposit on something, or renting a building, or even your own mortgage, car notes, auto and home insurance, everything, every single thing that you do is based off credit. They don't always tell you that. You just may end up paying a lot more for whatever it is that you're purchasing, and you probably didn't even realize that your utilities, etc., cable, cell phones, all of that is depending on your credit. What type of deposit you'll have to pay, whether or not you pay a deposit, when you go purchase a car, whether or not you need to pay a down payment, whether or not you can afford to go get a new car. You may go to get a car, and you may have to pay an extremely high monthly payment when you could be spending that same amount of money and getting a 2020 Maxima, but you have a 2009 Toyota Camry. So credit, credit, credit is very important. When it comes to credit, you may wonder, well, what do I need to do? How do I get good credit? How do I establish that? Well, one of the first things that you need to do is have a budget. You need to have a budget. I can't stress how important it is to have a budget. And when I say a budget, you need to know how much money you have coming from all sources, whether it's your job, if you get any type of, if you want to include child support, or if you get some type of royalty checks, anything, any finances that you get, you need to consider that income. Now, when it comes to your income, when it comes to employment, you never want to consider overtime as part of your income. And the reason for that is that overtime can stop at any time. You may have been working overtime for the past 10 years. Great. But that could stop at any time. So you never want to base your finances on overtime. You need to base it on whatever your set regular work week is. So you need to have a budget. And when I say budget, you need to know what's going in, what's coming out, and you need to be realistic. If you're one of those people, for instance, if you like to go get your hair done every 2 weeks and you spend $50 getting your hair done, that needs to be a part of your budget. If you like to get your nails done, you need to include that in your budget. If you go out to eat with your friends all the time, you need to include that in your budget. And the reason for that is you need to know exactly how much money you have left over after you've done all these things. If you don't include all of that, then your budget is really being unrealistic. So not only do you need to include your fixed expenses, which would be like your car note, your rent, or your mortgage, your lights, all that kind of stuff, the things that you have every single month, you need to include those things along with different variable things, like I mentioned, like getting your hair done or going out to eat. You need to include all of those things so you can see, okay, after I do all of this, I have X amount of dollars left. Or after I do all of this, I'm in the hole, negative 150. And that's why I have a hard time keeping up with my bills. Once you see where all of your money is going, then you'll know whether or not you need to cut back on some things or try to see if you can reduce the amount of certain things. A lot of times we notice that we're paying a whole lot more for stuff that we really don't need, such as cable. You may be paying $250 a month for cable, and you start thinking, I'm not even at home. Why don't I just get rid of it altogether and just stick to Netflix or Hulu? Or maybe I don't even need that. When you sit down and actually look at your budget, you realize what is really going on with your money. And so that's why that is step number one when it comes to getting your credit in order, because you need to know where all of your money is going and take the action steps that you need to, make sure that your money is working for you. The next thing you need to do after that, if you don't know what your current credit score is, you need to find out what that is ASAP. Um, a lot of you may not want to pay for your credit report. You can always get it. You can get one free credit report a year. Right now, I'm not sure. I believe like Experian and some of the other credit bureaus, I think they're allowing you to keep up with your credit reports right now during the pandemic. But if you don't have any other options, you can always look at Credit Karma just to get a roundabout guesstimate about where you stand. Keep in mind when you go to purchase something, such as, purchase a car or purchase a home, Credit Karma is not the score that you should look at. My FICO is what you should look at if you're considering going purchasing a home or doing something major, because you will be greatly disappointed if you use the Credit Karma score. It is probably way off when it comes to your true credit score. So the next step is knowing, what your credit score is and what all is on there. You may even find out that there's some things on there that's not even yours or you didn't even know about. And it probably is some things on there that is yours, that's been on there a little while that you've forgotten all about. That's why it's very important to know what all is on your credit. Once you take a look at your credit report, that's where you need to just, figure out what is correct, what's not correct, and then take the proper steps to either get those items removed or get them taken care of. Now, what we have a tendency to do is when we see those collection accounts or charge offs, we then want to, if we have a little bit of extra money, we want to go pay those off immediately. Well, that's not always the best thing to do, because when you pay those collection accounts that have been laying dormant and sitting out there, and it could be a possibility they're about to fall off your credit report, when you go and you um, pay those collection accounts, what you're doing is reactivating those accounts. You're making them active again. And therefore, what happens is that collection account will probably go from whatever balance is currently showing to a zero balance, but it's not going anywhere. It still stays on your credit report as a collection account or derogatory account. So now you've just paid money for that, and it's now going to stay on there another 7 years, because from the date that you paid it, because now you've made that account active again. So that's why it's very important to make sure that you speak with someone who really knows about credit before you make any type of decision like that. Also, I get asked all the time, well, this creditor and that creditor, they told me that if I pay this amount, then it's taken care of. What happens is, it's just like the collection account. What happens is that they take the money that you pay them and then they put on your credit report settled at less than the amount. So it's still on your credit report as collection, derogatory, charge off, whatever the case may be. And it's still taking the same number of points it was taken from your credit score before you paid it. So unless you're doing to pay to delete, then I wouldn't advise paying off those debts. Another thing that you need to do is make sure that you actually have something positive reporting on your credit. And this is a mistake that a lot of us make. We assume that taking out a payday loan or taking out any type of loans is automatically a way to build credit. No, that's not building credit, that's building debt. In order to build credit, you need to have, for example, like a secured card. If you already know that your credit is less than perfect, then you need to get a secured card to help build your credit. With all credit cards, you need to make sure that you stay at less than 30% of the limit. If you use more than 30% of the credit limit, then it causes your score to go in the opposite direction. It causes it to go down, and you don't want your credit score to go down. You want it to go up. So what I tell all my clients to do, once you get the secured card or once you get a credit card, what you should do is put a bill on it, a small bill that you already have to pay for. You can put Netflix, Hulu, um, Amazon, I mean, not Amazon, Apple Music, Pandora, Spotify, put something small on it. If your cell phone bill is about $50 or $60, you know, put that on there. Now, if you have a credit card that has a $2,000 or $3,000 limit, and your Verizon bill is $200, then yeah, you can put that on there too. So make sure that your credit is working for you and not working against you. A lot of people believe that once you get a credit card, you're supposed to max it out, and then as long as you pay the minimum payments and get it paid down, then you're building credit. No, that's not building credit at all. Creditors look at that as you need credit in order to live off on, and that you're a high risk. So that is why you should not max out a card and then just pay the minimum payment. You should never, ever, ever use more than 30% of the limit. So when it comes to credit, it is very important that you take care of it, because it's easy to lose points, but it's hard to get those points back. So when you do start establishing credit, you need to make sure that you protect it and you keep up with your bills and what's going on, because one late payment can take up to 150 points from your score. A maxed out card can take 100 points or more from your credit score. I've seen it happen time and time again. So please make sure that you understand credit and how it works, and do your own research so you can see, instead of listening to, friends and family who are probably in the same boat that you're in when it comes to credit.
So I have a couple of questions, and
Okay.
so after she answers these questions for me, we're going to open it up to our audience. If you have credit questions you want to ask LaRon, then we'll open the floor for those questions in just a few minutes. But I want to, you said a few things, you dropped a lot of good jewels for individuals on how they can get their credit score up. But for those people who love to think that cash reigns supreme and it's better than credit, can you explain for them the difference of having an 800 credit score versus having $100,000? Because some people think that they may have like all this cash and that's going to be like the end all be all for them. That's all they need is a bunch of money, whereas they don't even really have credit. And that's to explain to them why that's not necessarily a good thing. And once she answers that, we're going to explain to you where you be credit-wise in just a few minutes. But answer the question about the 800 credit score versus $100,000. Why is it important? Which is better, the 800 credit score or the $100,000?
Well, with the 800 credit score, you can get whatever it is that you want or need, as long as your income is stable. You can get whatever it is that you want, and basically not even a 800. If you have a 740 or higher, you can basically write your own ticket for whatever it is that you want to get. Just having $100,000, I mean, that's nice. But if you are wanting to take your business to the next level, if you want to just, have the nicer things, you're going to need more than $100,000. And why would you want to tie up all of your money or put all your eggs in one basket? You would be considered a high risk if that's all you have is $100,000 and you have a 420 for a credit score. When it comes down to, renting a building or purchasing a space, you don't want to have to, and when it comes to commercial property costs a whole lot more than, your average, your rent and for your apartment or mortgage. Commercial property costs a whole lot more. So if you were thinking of buying a commercial property for your business, then it may take your whole $100,000, if not more. So you don't want to spend the whole $100,000 on purchasing a building. And then how are you going to purchase inventory? How are you going to purchase workers? How are you going to live yourself? How are you going to pay for anything? With credit, you're able to leverage in so many ways. You're able to, go and get the business or get the building that you need and pay it back in installments. You're able to get the inventory that you need to, have a fully stocked inventory so that when a person wants to buy your cosmetics or buy your hair or buy your clothes, you're able to get all the things that you need and all the different sizes that you need and all the different colors that you need so that you're able to stand out from the rest. When you get your credit in order, you're able to be ahead of the competition. You're no longer in the same playing field because you're able to get better products and better everything. Just think about it. Even companies like Walmart, all the major companies, Dillard's, Macy's, everybody uses credit. Yes, they may be billion-dollar or million-dollar corporations, but they still use credit to get their merchandise, to get the things that they need, and then they pay it back later after they've sold it to you. So whether they do 30-day or net a net 90 or whatever the case may be, they're still using credit. And that's what small businesses, that's what we need to do. And even if you don't have a business, you need to have good credit so that you can save your money. You can use your money for other things and let your money work for you.
Yes. So explain to people the difference between personal credit and business credit and how they can start to establish business credit. Some things that they can do.
Okay. The difference between personal credit and business credit, you want to keep those two things separate. And the reason for that is with personal credit, if you use it to build your business, you can end up hurting your personal credit and it can hold you back with your business because there's only so much that you'll be able to do with that personal credit. In the beginning, yes, they will also look at your personal credit in the very beginning just so you can get started. But you want to be able to get the bigger limits that you would be able to get with business credit. With business credit, a lot of the limits are going to start at 20,000, 40,000, 50,000, 100,000 versus you using a personal credit and getting 5,000, 10,000. And even if you have an 800 credit score and have had the same card for 20 years, a $20,000 limit, what exactly will you be able to do when it comes to business with that? Because with business, everything costs more. So you want to separate your personal and your business credit because you don't want to hurt your personal credit and you don't want your personal credit to end up holding you back because they'll start looking at your personal credit tied up with your business credit and you won't be able to get a lot of things that you need to get because they'll be looking at your personal credit. With business credit, in order to separate business credit, you have to set up your business properly. That's what it all about boils down to. You have to have your business set up properly. And a lot of you probably found out with this, with the EIDL loans and the SBA
Yes.
that you didn't have your business set up properly. You have to have EINs, your tax ID numbers. You have to have a business address or business bank account. You need to have your Duns and Bradstreet. You need to have all the things that you need to establish a business. You need to have that business email address. And what I mean by that, for example, my business email address is info@chadwickfs.com, not LaronChadwick@gmail.com. You need to have a business email address. It only costs $5 a month for the business address, or you may even be able to get it cheaper than that. But I mean, you have to spend some money to make money. You need to have a business phone number. There's so many different free ways you can do that with Google Voice and other options out there. You need to have a business phone number other than your personal cell phone number. Even if you don't have an actual storefront business, you can always get a business address. There are a lot of companies that you can pay, for a small amount to have a business address. You need to have your business set up properly, more than just a DBA, because you need to protect yourself from if anybody decides to sue you. That does happen. So, when it comes to business credit, you have to have your business set up properly, set up as a business, and not, half doing it because this costs money, that costs money. I don't want to pay that. It really doesn't matter. You want to be able to get merchant accounts. And what a merchant account is, you want to be able to take Visa, MasterCard, American Express. You don't want as a business to say, hey, cash out me. No, you want to set up those things so that other businesses will want to do business with you. You need to have a website, because that's another thing. That's another way in this day and time they establish whether or not you're a legitimate business. One of the first things they ask is, what's your web address? So make sure you have a website. And, I know in the beginning that it may be a struggle getting all those things all at the same time, but YouTube is out there, Google is out there, and take the small steps to do it yourself in the beginning if you have to, or find an intern, someone that's currently in college that is going to school for, graphic design or something like that, that you may be able to pay a small amount to do it. It's ways to do it without breaking the bank, but you have to start somewhere.
Yes, 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 yes. And people don't realize how important it is to invest in this stuff, but that's the main reason why you need your good credit, because even if you don't have the cash to invest this, that's where your credit comes in, to be able to have a line of credit on a credit card where you can charge certain things that you need to charge to establish yourself as a legitimate business owner. Ooh, this is good stuff, girl. This is good stuff. So I want to know, one of the things that you told me years ago. I mean, we had a conversation about, I had an account and I didn't think about it. I started a Uline account. I started a Quill account, quill.com, Quill, Quill.com, for trying to establish a
Business.
a business account. Yes, so that you can start to get credit, business lines of credit. That's a good place to start. You can open up an account, and not only that, you can get stuff that you need for your business. You can get all kinds of business supplies. You can get all kinds of things that you need to get your business established, and you're getting business credit for your business in the process. So that's a suggestion for you guys. But one of the main things that I think, one of the takeaways that I think you should remind people about is, if you've never had credit and you need to establish credit, or if you have poor credit, and poor credit is considered anything 600 and below, really about 620 and below. If you're 630, is probably going to be fair. So if you have anything below 630, and for people who are trying to apply for loans, for business loans, I know this personally, you have to have at least a 640 credit score. Just to use myself as an example, after my divorce, my credit score was as low as 430 one time. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I'm okay to say right now I'm at 660. I'm good. Talk your stuff. But it took some years for me to get to that point, and that ain't even like where I aspire to be. I'm trying to get in the 700 range. But the reason why it was so bad is because I had student loans that had defaulted. And I'm gonna tell y'all, young people, this is something that you need to get right, because it affected me, but I was dealing with so much. I was over my head with my finances, and my finances were a mess because my at that particular time my life was too. But I let my student loans default. My student loans defaulted, and when you go to school, you take out a loan for every semester, sometimes 2 and 3 loans. Y'all think y'all getting at 2,000, I mean that $6,000. They're setting y'all up with 3 and 4 different loans that goes on your credit. So just think, if you go to school for 3, 4 years and you get 15 loans throughout that time, all of those 15 loans are showing on your credit. And when they default, all 15, that goes against your credit. That's what happens to me. That's how I know. That's what brought my credit score down. And that's what put me in the situation that I was. Luckily, I was able to turn that around and to work that out to where I now am not in the same situation, start paying on time, got it out of default, and I was already paying all the rest of my bills. I just wasn't paying those student loans, and that jacked up my credit. So what happened was I went to apply for a business loan, and all that stuff was on there. And they were telling me, you make good money, you have the finances, but the credit is jacked, and you got all these accounts from your student loans. You go take care of that, then come back. So that's what happened with my situation. So I would tell anybody, if you've gone to school and then you just said, forget them student loans, don't do that. That's going to jack up your credit, and it's going to hurt you in a lot of other ways as well. So that's one way you need to be working on fixing your credit and getting that information, getting your credit in order with your student loans and then other accounts that you have as well. So
And it's great that you mentioned student loans. That seems to affect everybody. And when it comes to those student loans, one for the new generations that's out there, if you don't need the student loans, don't take them out.
I
Look
agree.
grants, look for scholarships. It's there. You don't have to pay anybody to find it. Just go online to your school's website and find out what scholarships are available, what grants are available other than the Pell Grant. It's more out there than just the Pell Grant. If you're still in high school and it's your senior year or junior year, you need to really and truly get on it your junior year, finding out what's available and when the deadlines are for everything. When it comes to student loans, what happens is student loans most of the time have the longest history on your credit report. So just like she mentioned, she got those student loans when she was in college. So those student loans may have had, and I'm just saying something, a 20-year history. And when those things defaulted, baby.
Cutthroat. The
I'm
government is
surprised you
not
just said a
playing.
400 and not 350, because those can take a very hard hit. So for those of you that do have student loans right now, if the student loan companies are calling you, don't ever run from them. Go ahead and answer that phone and get them
Set up a plan. Set up a
set up a
plan. I
payment plan.
did.
Yeah, they do payment plans. Some as low as $5.
Right.
Let them
Right.
know what's going on. If you don't have no money, you don't have a job, say that. Don't run from them, because that debt is not going away.
It's
And
not.
is we run from it, and then one day they decide to take your income tax, which they took a lot of people's income tax this year. Another thing they do, they start garnishing your wages, and when they start garnishing your wages, you can't call them up and say, "Time, I was just playing. I'm gonna give you your money now." They don't care about that. They'll put in an order for you to reduce it, but that may take a little while before that happens. And your employer is not going to stop garnishing your wages just because you talk to them. They have to have that letter from the student loan agency saying what your new amount is, or to stop garnishing your wages. So don't let it get to that point. Because like I said, you can't call and say, time out, I was just playing, I'll give you your money, what we got to do. Because once they start taking whatever they take, it's not going to be what you like. So if you left with $5 after the fact, hey, that's your bad. You made it. So make sure that you make some type of arrangement with them. Now if you know that you got $300,000 in student loans and you're going to be paying it for the rest of your life, go on and set it up for $50 for the rest of your life or whatever you got to do, because they're not going nowhere. That's just one of those things, is not going anywhere unless you do some type of special program with them to get those eradicated. Just because you get them removed from your credit report, you still owe the debt, and student loans will come back for you. So just to let you know, if some kind of way you do get them deleted or you have a credit repair person to remove them, do not think just because they're gone, they're out of sight, they're out of mind, that you don't owe it. They'll still come and get you. So yes, it may help your credit score, but the downside is you still owe it. So please keep
So
that in mind.
I have a question. Stimulus money. I got a stimulus check, $1,200. I gotta pay car note 300. Then let's say rent and mortgage is paid or whatever. I may have $500 left after that. How would you say a person should spend that after the necessities are paid, the bills are paid, but my credit score is 530? What would you suggest that I do with the remainder of that stimulus money or any little extra money that I've gotten to bring that credit score up to get it back in the 640, 650 range? What would you suggest?
I would suggest put that money in a savings account. And I wouldn't even suggest using it to pay me or somebody else to fix your credit. And the reason for that is because whenever we start, no matter what it is in life, whenever we start trying to do good, that's when life happens and we have setbacks. So if you got $500 left over, put that in a savings account that is separate from your current checking account, a savings account that's at a whole separate bank than what your checking account is. Because if it's at the same bank that your checking account is, what will happen is when Punch calls you up and says, "Hey, let's go out to eat," and you don't have any money, you're gonna transfer that money from the from that savings account right into the checking account. And you'll say, "Oh, payday tomorrow, so I'll put it back." Well, when payday comes, you don't put the money back because now you need to get an oil change and you need to get a headlight on your car. So you don't put the money back. And then when an emergency comes, then you don't have any money at all. You got $2.55 left in your account. So I would suggest putting the money in a savings account that's totally separate from your bank. And you don't need a debit card for that savings account, because there will never be an emergency that you need to get money out in the middle of the night that cannot wait till the next day. If it's a true emergency, you will not need to do that. So start there, because what happens a lot of times, the reason we have bad credit is because life happens. And so when that alternator goes out, we don't have any money to go get it. And so then we go to the payday loan people and we get a $500 payday loan, and then we stuck in that cycle, and it goes over and over and over and over and over again, and we never get out of it. And then 30 payday loans later, we end up defaulting, and boom, 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 boom. So
No card, no money, no
yeah,
income. It's all
yeah,
gone. Do not do that. Get
yes,
your weight up by getting your credit right. Just get
yes,
your credit right. That's
yes,
all. And the thing about it is, after all the money that you put into investing in payday loans, you could put into getting your credit fixed. At
right,
the end of the day, all that money that you paid just like that, just to get that quick, easy fix to a problem that's going to be a long-term problem, you could be investing in fixing your credit. And so, oh yes, that payday loans. Oh, please don't do that. Just fix your credit. So I would ask you, if I were to come to you today and I tell you similar scenario, credit score 530, I have income, I don't have a budget. What's the first thing we need to do to get me set up so that I can get financially stable, to get my business in order? What would you suggest that I do in that situation? How would you suggest that I handle that? I
well,
mean, how would you handle that?
Well, the first thing you really and truly need to do, even though most people don't want to do it, and I offer it for free to all of my clients, um, get a budget. Because at the end of the day, if your budget is not right, it doesn't matter how much money you make, it doesn't matter what I do, we're going to end up right back in square one. You got to know where all your money is going. And it's amazing just by looking at where all your money is going, it gives you a whole new outlook on what you need to be doing. It's just like with weight loss. You know, you could hire me to be your trainer, but me and you can work out all day long, every day for a whole month. But if every single time you leave me, you go home and eat a Twinkie and a gallon of ice cream, I mean, what?
Not a Twinkie.
Yes. I mean, or you put on some Nestle cookies and you them chocolate chip cookies that you put in the oven. I mean, you gon' we're not gonna have no progress.
We're going in circles.
Yeah, I mean, you working out, you putting in the work, but
You're
when
working against it. You're working behind the eight ball.
yes, you, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, you still in the same spot, and you wonder why you're not going nowhere. When you take the time to look at where your money is going, you'll see some of the bad choices that you're making without me even having to say anything. When you sit there and you see, oh man, did I really spend $500 on eating out? Because when you think about it, if you go to Chick-fil-A today, you go get the 4 for 4 tomorrow, and you get, you know,
We love Chick-fil-A.
yes, and, you go get the 4 for 4, and then, your girls call you up to go for brunch, and then in a week's time, you can easily spend $200 and not even realize it. And then when that miscellaneous bill gets auto drafted from your account, like that car insurance come through, and then you're like, oh snap. And now you're down to $2.80.
So we have some people on here that have asked about investment. At what point is it a good time to invest money? And whether it be investing in your business, whether it's time to invest in property, whether it's time to invest in a stock market, at what point would you suggest that a person is legitimately ready to make investment moves? What would your suggestion be?
Now if it's just investing as far as your job has a 401k, and you want to contribute to that, then do that right now. But if you're talking about investing in anything else, then I would wait till you have your credit together, because if your credit plays a big part of your finances. So to make sure that you're financially stable in all aspects, I will make sure that my credit was in order first before I reached out there and started opening up a business, or because it plays a part in every single thing that you do. And if you don't have that solid foundation, then it's you just building a house of cards. You're just waiting on for anything to come through and blow it down.
Okay, so the last question of the evening, I had someone ask about credit steps. What are the steps to repair your credit? Give us the game and tell us what needs to be done to the basic steps that need to be taken to repair credit.
One, budget. Budget is number one, knowing where all your money is going, because you have to know where your money is going and make sure that you pay your bills on time and make sure that you're going to max out credit cards, all of that. So budget is number one. Number two is actually knowing your credit score and knowing what all is on your credit. And three, if you don't have any positive credit, you need to establish positive credit. And that means either having a credit card or a secured card, having some type of positive. When I say positive, something good reporting, a car note, a mortgage, something positive reporting. Because a lot of times what I see is that we just don't have anything positive reporting. We got Sprint bills, AT&T bills, Direct TV, we got payday loans, we got all of this negative stuff on there. So even if I waved a magic wand and deleted everything from your credit report that was negative, what would you have? Nothing. So that is why it's very important to establish credit. You can go to my website, www.chadwick, F is in Frank, S is in Sally.com. And at the bottom, it says our partners, or it may say our affiliates. I believe it says our partners. It has different things that you can click on to get to help build credit, or you can always inbox me or email me, and I can email you a little quick sheet that gives you that information. Also, before we wrap up, for anybody that is on that's on this live or just happens to mention tonight, between tonight and tomorrow, you have until midnight Friday night, or basically Saturday morning. If you want to sign up for credit repair services with Chadwick Financial Solutions, I will let you sign up at the rate of $99. The regular fee is $249, so you are getting a significant discount. So if you ready to get your credit right, not thinking about it, you ready to get your credit right, and you ain't playing, and you want to do this, definitely hit me up and we can get you started for $99. So if you ready and you ready to take that big step and you ready to work out and get that credit right, not get with me and go home and eat cookies at night, I'm talking about really, really, really ready, then hit us up and we can take care of you.
And I want to end with this note why you should take her up on this right now. If you don't know what your credit score is, then today you need to find out. Before we get off, LaRon is going to tell you where you can go and look, a website where you can just pull your credit report so you can find out. You need to know what your credit score is. Once you find out if it is below what we talked about today, if you got 630 and below, you need to work on that credit score. And let me tell you why. The reason why you should definitely consider it is because even though you might have a car note, if you're paying $700, $700 for any type of car, 9 times out of 10, you're paying too much. I don't care if it's a Benz or whatever it is. I mean, I know people who have Benzes who have good credit and paying way less than that, way less because of their credit scores. And this isn't to judge or pass judgment. We're trying to save you some money. We're trying to save you money, sis, bro. We're trying to help you put money back in your pocket. Also to help you get better interest rates, better insurance rates, to qualify you to get prepared to buy a house. Or even if you don't want a house, you might just want to stay in an apartment. They're doing background checks and they're also looking at your credit as well. And that will determine how much you're going to pay. So this is something that you need to do so that you can get on your game, your money game, so you can save money and get your stuff right financially. And then you can do whatever else that you need. And for those of you who are business owners like myself, and you want to qualify, you want to be able to go to the loan, you want to be able to go to the bank and qualify for that $100,000 loan. I declare today that somebody is going to be able to go to the bank and get that $100,000 loan, qualify for it, and going to be able to pay it back in 3 years. I said that today.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you got to go to LaRon and get your credit right first, and she can help you to get there. That's the part that you need to do. So, LaRon, before we go, tell them how they can find you on social media before we get out of here.
Yes, you can find us on Facebook at Hire HIRE CFS, on Instagram at Hire_CFS. You can also you can give us a call, 833-244-7323. Yes, we are closed, so you can wait till tomorrow. You can also find us on the web, Chadwick Financial Solutions, at www.chadwick, F is in Frank, S is in Sally.com. You can also inbox us on there. You can also inbox us on Facebook or Instagram. And if you want to take advantage of that special offer, the $99 special offer, you got to get signed up and enrolled and everything completed basically by Friday at midnight, basically Saturday morning. So don't hit me up on Saturday saying, hey, I just found out. Nah, that ain't gonna work. So we can take you as a client, but we got that other price for you. So make sure you take advantage of this special offer. Also, if you refer a friend and they sign up with us, whether you're a client or not, you get a $50 referral fee. So just make sure that when we ask, did anybody refer you? They say yes, Punch referred me, or whatever the case may be. You can get that $50 referral fee, whether you're a client or not.
Okay, well, guys, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you learned some things that are going to help you moving forward, getting your credit right, and getting prepared to invest, to start businesses, or to buy homes, or whatever it is that you're trying to do. We're going to we're going to end this. This is the end of building the brand. Again, I want to thank you, LaRon, for your information today. LaRon Chadwick of Chadwick Financial Solutions was our guest today for the Building the Brand series. She will be coming back in a couple of weeks where we're going to have part two we're going to have a part two of this series where we discuss setting up estates, why it's important that you should have your estate set up in the event that you die, the things that you need to do to handle that business so that you're prepared in certain situations. And then we'll talk about taxes a little bit. So we will be back in a couple of weeks to talk about that, but I hope you got enough of what you needed today. For those of you who are just logging on and just catching the end of this will be on my page. So you will be able to see this on my Facebook page and catch the recap a little bit later. Thank you guys for watching. And until next Thursday, Building the Brand, we'll be back. I have a great guest. I can't wait to bring her on as well. And we'll talk about that later. So see you later. Bye, guys.
Bye.